and you won't sin deliberately. People misquote Hebrews 10:26 as well. If you sin willfully, there remains no more sacrifice for sins. They're not understanding context of what that's actually speaking about. If you sin willfully against the knowledge of truth, right? Which is the gospel of your salvation, Ephesians 1:13, then obviously if you keep rejecting Jesus, you will go to hell, right? That's a very clear thing.
All right, so in his defense for once saved, always saved, he brought up Hebrews 10:28, and according to him, many people misquote this verse. And I'm not lying to you guys, I'm not making this up, and I'm saying this with all love and with all respect. The crazy thing is that he went on to misquote the verse himself, which I was super surprised of. So according to him, the verse says, if we sin willfully against the knowledge of truth, then there remains no forgiveness of sins. And of course, if you sin willfully against the knowledge of truth, you're not going to receive forgiveness of sins if you're rejecting the gospel, if you're rejecting the knowledge of truth, of course. But that's not what the verse says. So this is what it actually says, Hebrews 10:28. For if we go on sinning willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth, then there remains no forgiveness of sins. The key word here, which he replaced with against, is receiving. After receiving the knowledge of the truth. Receiving is different than against or rejecting. Receiving is something positive. It's like when you receive someone to your house, when you welcome them in, when you accept them. Actually, when you look at the Greek word that the Hebrew author uses, the root word, you can find it also in John 3:11, where Jesus, when he's talking to Nicodemus, he says, we speak of what we know, we bear witness of what we have seen, and yet you do not receive our testimony. So in that context, Jesus is telling Nicodemus, like, I'm telling you what we know, like you're listening to me and I'm even bearing witness of what I've seen, but you're not receiving my testimony. So you can't even say that the word receive simply means that they just heard the gospel, because Nicodemus, he's listening to Jesus, he's listening to what he has to say, but he's not receiving the testimony. And in other translations, it has the word accept. So Jesus is saying, you do not accept our testimony. So receiving can also be translated as accepting. So let's go back to Hebrews 10:28. So we already know that it's not saying that after you hear the knowledge of the truth, right? It's saying after you receive the knowledge of the truth, after you accepted it. And also the knowledge of the truth, that phrase is a salvific expression. How do we know this? Because in 1 Timothy 2:4, Paul says, God desires all people to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. In that context, Paul is talking about salvation. God desires everyone to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. If they come to the knowledge of the truth, that'll be a salvific expression. They will be saved. So let's not misquote Hebrews 10:28. Let's take it for what it is. No matter what you believe in, let's at least be honest to what the verse actually says. Let me know in the comment section.